Hello and welcome to GCS Today here on Channel 21, the program that brings you news and information from Gaston County Schools. I'm Todd Higgins. On today's edition, we meet the Gaston County Teacher of the Year and we talk about athletics in Gaston County Schools. Joining me on GCS Today is Carmin Adams. She is a fifth grade teacher at Belmont Central Elementary School and she is the current Gaston County Teacher of the Year. Congratulations on being named our Teacher of the Year.
Thank you very much.
Let's begin by talking about what is it like to be the Gaston County Teacher of the Year?
It is truly an honor to be Gaston County Teacher of the Year, especially growing up right here in Gaston County. It's a humbling experience to know that you have so many educators within our county that could have been chosen for this position here, and to be able to represent those educators is an amazing time. And it's also a great time for reflection because it causes me to look at what can I do more for my students and how can I continue to be a great teacher leader.
Now, let's go inside your classroom.
Yes.
How would you describe your classroom? What is it like to be in your class?
I definitely try to provide a cohesive learning environment. Safety is a major, very important to me. And I have a class collaboration board. And so those students know that with that collaboration board, student choice is a huge thing within my classroom. I want students to take ownership. And so with that board, I may pose a question of how would you like to learn about weather? And they are able to put their ideas on that board. So they can put, I would like to learn about weather using technology, like a slideshow or science projects, or have a meteorologist come in the classroom. And I'm able to meet with those students and create lessons based on what they would like to see. And so just them taking ownership, I feel like provides a different dynamic within my classroom.
What kind of response do you get from your students? It's almost like they are helping to decide how they want to learn.
Yes. Oftentimes as an educator, it's hard to create engaging lessons all of the time. So the response from the students to be able to be included in that, and then they're also giving you ideas, is a wonderful response. I'm able to sit down with them and they're excited because they are creating that lesson with me, and they just can give me as much feedback as they want on the lesson. They can critique how I plan the lesson, and so just them having that opportunity to have ownership over that lesson is important.
Well, it's certainly a different approach
Yes.
than the teacher standing in front of the room and just telling the students what they need to know. I imagine they would be open and receptive of having that engagement piece in learning.
Yes, they are. And I've found that they're more responsive because if they know that a classmate has helped create that lesson, they are all in that lesson. They are wanted to see, oh, well, what did they decide to do this time? And of course, I can't do that with every lesson in the classroom, but having those certain lessons within the unit definitely just changes my outcome in the classroom.
Okay, if we brought in your students and interviewed them
Yes.
here, what do you think they would say about you?
I feel like my students would definitely say that I have high expectations for them, but with attainable goals. I would like for them to know, and I hope that they would say that I'm caring towards them, and that even though I know that my environment provides that high expectations, that they know that that they can be successful, and that I will stay on them all the time, making sure that they are on task, but it comes from a very caring place.
Now, let's talk a little bit about your story.
Yes.
And how you became a teacher, because you've got an interesting story.
Yes. Where most educators may say that they line their dolls up and they talk to their dolls at a young age, I actually wanted to be a lawyer when I was younger. And so I would actually have my dolls in my bedroom and pretend like I was having court. My mother was an educator, and that's definitely something that she saw in me at a young age. I really did not see it in myself. It wasn't until 2005 that I took a position at Catawba Heights as a computer lab specialist and a teacher assistant that I knew that this was the job that I should take on, because it was probably a weekend to that position that I knew that that was what I was passionate about. Then I had to let my mom know, that she was right all along. So that was very hard to, go back and say, hey, I should have taken on this role a long time ago when you presented it to me. But it's definitely something that was a game changer for me because I had no idea the impact it would have on my life. And so having taught kindergarten, 3rd grade, 5th grade now, it has been an amazing journey.
I think that's probably a good reason to go back to Mom and say, Mom, you were right.
Yes, it is.
She probably was glad to hear you say that because she had been in education a long time. And I know she's proud to see you following in her footsteps.
Yes.
Now, and you're homegrown in Gaston County.
I am.
You went to school at...
I went to school at Chapel Grove in elementary and Southwest and Hunter Huss High School.
Okay, so a graduate of Hunter Huss.
Yes.
And, we're glad to have one of our own in Gaston County Schools and as the Gaston County Teacher of the Year. Who has inspired you? I imagine your mother had some influence, but who has inspired you or what has motivated you in your role as a teacher?
Honestly, my daughter has been a very big inspiration. I've worked with so many educators that I've learned from over the 13 years that I've been with Gaston County, but she is definitely my biggest cheerleader. And I can present lessons to her even at a young age. Do you think this is engaging? Do you think this is something students will like? And just like any other child or student, she's going to give honest feedback.
Yeah, she gives you
yes.
She tells you what she thinks.
Yes. And so I really want to make sure that I make her proud. And I've come across many other educators. Phyllis Whitworth, she has been an amazing cheerleader for me and always gives me honest feedback, and I appreciate that.
And Phyllis is your
yes.
principal.
Yes, she is my current principal.
At Belmont Central, and Phyllis was our principal of the year last year.
Yes.
So you've got a good principal.
I do.
Taking good care of you. Now, if you could give advice to someone out there who is thinking about becoming a teacher, what would you say to that person?
I would definitely say that you are going into a position that will afford you many opportunities. You'll have the opportunity to change many lives and make a difference in students each day. When you go into that classroom, that is your classroom. You have a chance to work with each student and create your own learning environment and really make a change in their lives. But I'll also have to be honest with them because being a teacher at times can be challenging. So just making sure they understand the many aspects of becoming a teacher and the fact that even today in 2018 with what we know that most teachers face, the fact that they still want to be a teacher, I think it says a lot about their character, and it must be something within them that is causing them to want to be a teacher.
And certainly there is something within you.
Yes.
Thank you. That pushed you toward the career in education and certainly the success you have found as a teacher and now as our Gaston County Teacher of the Year. Again, congratulations on winning this honor.
Thank you.
It's well deserved, and we're so proud of everything that you are doing at Belmont Central for your students, and we appreciate you being with us here on GCS Today.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
You are watching GCS Today here on Channel 21. Stay with us. We will be right back. Joining me on GCS Today is Chad Duncan. He is the Director of Athletics for Gaston County Schools. Chad, thank you so much for being with us today.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Let's begin with what does an athletic director do? And talk about that at the school level and also in your role at the central level.
Okay. School level, they basically have to run it just like a business. They handle all the money that comes in, and obviously they also have to then help pay for any equipment needed, and uniforms and all that. They also work with eligibility. They handle the transportation for their teams to travel. They work with all the game workers at the gates and to make sure everything is safe with officers. They clean, they mow, they spend a ton of time doing anything and everything for their athletic programs and schools.
And those athletic directors at the school level, they have to, like you said, they have to do any and everything to make sure that that game happens, that everything goes as planned, and there's a lot of work behind the scenes to make a football game or a basketball game or any game look great and take place in the way it should.
And they do a great job. They really do. They work hard. They ask questions if they need to. They're fantastic.
Now, in your role as the county athletic director, talk a little bit about what you do as the county athletic director.
Well, I'm there to support them, obviously, with all of our schools. I also attend all meetings that the state requires. I'll attend city-county athletic director meetings, the High School Athletic Association meetings. I then host our high school and middle school ADs for different meetings. I'll have an all-county coaches meeting, so all of our coaches are on the same page with all of our stuff. I'll be on the phone constantly if public calls or anybody else calls, but I'm there in their support.
And you act as the liaison for the school district with the North Carolina High School Athletic Association, which governs high school sports.
That's correct, and I'm very fortunate to be on the North Carolina Athletic Directors Association Board of Directors. So we also have a separate special relationship with the High School Athletic Association, and it's a very good relationship.
Now, let's talk about your story. I know that you were the basketball coach at Ashbrook High School. How long did you coach, and what did you enjoy about coaching?
I started my sophomore year of college, actually, and I'm from Ohio, so I coached at the high school that I went to. And got into basketball, but I've also coached football, I've coached golf, and I've coached baseball. So I've been around a lot of them for a long period of time. Over 20 years is the time I spent coaching. What I enjoyed about coaching, and some people might not think this is something, but I enjoyed practice every day. I enjoyed seeing my players get better every day. I enjoyed getting to know my players and their families. I enjoyed those relationships, and obviously when it comes to games, I loved strategy. I loved making adjustments, and I believe that's what our coaches today also like.
So you've made the transition from the basketball court as a coach, and you're now at the county level as our athletic director. How are you still influencing students?
Well, obviously, when I work with the athletic directors and principals, but also the coaches at the schools, I am still very much involved. I also go to at least one game, sometimes two games every night. So they see me. They might not recognize me sometimes, but all the coaches and the athletic directors do recognize me, and they know I'm there for support, but also I'm checking things out. That's part of my job, to make sure everything is the way it's supposed to be.
And you make a good point there, because I do think that you are supportive in your role, supporting the schools and the players and the coaches and the others involved, because oftentimes they need that support. So you do a good job with that. Now, let's talk about athletics and how athletics are important to education. It's an important part of what we do.
Yes, definitely. And in fact, with the Athletic Directors Association, we always say that it's education-based athletics. That's what we're all about. We're about that academic mission that we serve to provide. We are an extension of the classroom, is what we feel. We also will say that we are the best dropout prevention available. And we help with discipline, because those kids want to behave so then they can participate later in the day. We fulfill basic needs. We help kids' attitudes. We help kids stay in shape and learn a regimen so then they can stay in shape later on in life. We also will have students, and this has been proven in several studies, that those who participate in athletics have higher grades and better attendance. So we obviously are all about that. And there's also been studies out there where participants have shown in the future that they vote more, they volunteer more, they speak well in public, and also that they watch the news more than what some that don't.
I think that's very interesting because some people get focused on sports and it's all about winning. It's all about winning, but there's so much more to it. And I like that you mentioned how it really is an extension of learning and it's an extension of the classroom, because there are a lot of lessons that are taught on the field and on the court.
Exactly. And all the lessons that are out there, I mean, they're numerous. Honesty, integrity, teamwork, respect, and there's many more, and obviously athletics, very strong in all of those.
Now, we talk about the lessons students learn. What are some of the lessons that you strived to teach your students, your players?
Well, respect was the biggest thing, and I would hope that all of my former players and students would also say that same thing, that you respect everyone involved. You respect the other team, you respect your own team, everybody involved, but you also respect the sport. There are certain things you just don't do, and just to learn that, work hard, and hopefully they saw me working hard, so I was a role model in that sense. Act right. You never know who's watching. That was one of those things too that I always said, because we always talked about possible college coaches in the stands or whomever's out there. It could be somebody's grandmother out there. You got to make sure that you're acting right. And always be prepared. If there's a way that you can prepare for something, do it, because you never know what situation you might be put in.
That's good advice. I like that. Act right, because you never know who's watching you. I like that piece of advice. Now, your parents. What do you want parents to know about athletics?
Well, let their kids have fun. I mean, that's one of the biggest things. Let their kids learn the life lessons that sports can teach them. And I talked about those a minute ago. But also to be very supportive of their kids. Not every kid can be a star player. Be supportive of their kids. Don't be overly critical. That seems to happen some more these days, where parents might put too much pressure on certain kids. And we also want kids to play as many sports as possible. We don't want them to just narrow it down to one focus. And there have been several studies out there that show, that's healthier for kids, is to be involved in as many activities as they can, not just one specific thing.
You make a great point there. It's not about winning all the time. It's not about being that star player. Not every child will be a star player, but every child involved in athletics can have fun and can enjoy the game, don't you think?
That's exactly what we want. Yep, anybody who participates, I'm sure, in the past will tell you they have a great story to tell.
We're very proud of our athletics in Gaston County Schools. A great athletic program, great coaches, great athletic directors, people involved with the program, and great leadership from you to make sure that we continue our championship ways in Gaston County Schools. Chad Duncan, Athletic Director for Gaston County Schools, thank you for being with us today on GCS Today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for watching GCS Today. Stay tuned to Channel 21 for the latest school news and information, and be sure to download the Gaston County Schools mobile app from Google Play or Apple iTunes. It's a free download. For GCS Today, I'm Todd Higgins. We look forward to seeing you next time.